Hello, my absolutely beautiful Aquarian friends, and welcome to your horoscope for January of 2023. And happy birthday, my Aquarian friends. You have arrived. It's your annual new year. We're resetting the stage. Birthday time. What do you want? Who do you want to be? What are you willing to shed and let go of so that you can, it's this idea of what are you willing to say no to this year, Aquarius, so that you can say yes to something else. What sides of you, what little layers in your onion in this last year, Aquarius, have peeled, and you're ready to reveal the next thing, the next lessons, the next version of you, the next version of you that is brave, that is compassionate, that is adventurous. What is it for Aquarius this year? I don't know. Only you have the answer to that. I'll read the energy. You make the decisions. And hopefully in the end, you just have a fantastic birthday time, as it is your time yet again. Aquarius, as we're coming in though to birthday time this year, we're not whipping and zipping with our hair back. That's not it at all. This is a slower energy as we're coming into January. It's still more reflective. It's this energy where if you're trying to move something forward and you're forcing it, you're going to meet it with frustration. Mars and Mercury are still retrograde. So it's like the information you've been gathering, the things you've been learning, they're still trying to click perfectly together so that they can lock in and you can really use them and make the most of that manifested energy as we move towards March and the rest of the year. So no force, no push, ease in, try and keep your schedule a little bit light, spend some time. As we finish up the next weeks of Capricorn season, this is still your 12th house. Rest, rejuvenate, get ready for the marathon that is the next annual year, okay? So treat yourself very well. Take care of yourself. Say goodbye to the things that need to be said goodbye to, and get ready for your birthday season, okay? All right, Aquarius, as we're coming into January, at the beginning of the month, we've got Venus coming into your sign. Venus moving into the first house is an attracting in energy. It's a magnetizing, charming energy. So I think it's fun that Venus is coming into your sign even before the sun for your birthday, right? Because as Venus comes into this area, first of all, it makes you magnetic. It lifts that beauty spectrum for you. And it's not necessarily that you got your eyelashes lifted or anything like that, but something about you gets this magnetism around it, and it has influence, it has power, it radiates with a magnification of some kind of beauty or acceptance. It literally can help you be acceptable in the spaces around you. Like, people are magnetized to you, maybe even people that, somebody used to be a friend and now they want to be a lover, or there's just this romance in people's eyes around you. And that is something that you can use, because not only is that magnetic and attracting in energy good for bringing maybe different or unconventional people who are outside of your normal circle to your table, but it also means you can put yourself in positions, places, and scenarios that financially, Venus, can benefit you as well. You can also act as an energy with this particular transit where you are actually the person who is facilitating peace. You're the diplomatic one in the relationship. You're the diplomatic one in the family. You're the one who people are coming to seek some wisdom. So it's really got a charming kind of glee around it. But remember, you don't have to do a lot. You don't need to put force again on Venus as if you could, because it's moving so slow right now, the energy, right? But just let things come to you. And as they come, practice receiving. Practice when someone gives you a compliment, not saying, oh no, not this old thing. When somebody says that's a beautiful whatever, say thank you. Thank you. And practice the receiving. It will go a long way. As we get to the 6th, we've got a full moon happening in the energy of Cancer at 16 degrees, lighting up your 6th house space. Now, this is also fantastic too, because not only is the full moon giving you the opportunity, Aquarius, to end something, acknowledge something, or make an adjustment. We need to course correct, but you're doing it in a well-lit room, right? All the lights from the sky are on, so you can see what you're looking at. You can see, like, yeah, hey, the eggs are not in the refrigerator. I should put them in the refrigerator, right? You see where to make the adjustment here. But more than anything, it's a lunation in its home sign in Cancer. So emotionally, if something is not fulfilling you anymore, the consideration of your emotional needs and wants at this time are really called to your attention. And what you say no to, I don't want to do this. No, I won't do this. No, you say yes to over here, because no, I can't raise your children because it's crimping my emotional sanity, or no, I'm not leaving the dog over there because it's not safe. You know, whatever your no yes balance is, whatever you say no to. The yes is guided by Uranus and that transiting north node, the destiny energy pulling you forward, saying you're making decisions that are respectful, responsible, and in alignment and in emotional fulfillment with nurturing your home, whether that be your physical home where you live, your people, your parents, your own psychological foundations, right? Like, you are taking care of home by saying no so that you can say yes to something else. As we get to the 12th, we're going to see Mars come out of retrograde at 8 degrees of Gemini, and we'll see a series of 8s happening this month. So my numerology people, tell me about the number 8. What does that mean for us this month, right? It's an energy of 8s, okay? But we've got Mars coming out of retrograde at 8 degrees of Gemini. Now this lights up your 5th house space. Children, joy, play, romance, self-expression, taking a risk at something. You're like, listen, I've been in a retrograde. I've been in Mars retrograde, right? Maybe you wanted to move something forward. You wanted to make some decisions, but you needed to reassess. You had to reassess the current strategy you're using in your life for your children as a child, for the business you're trying to build, how you're going about getting pregnant. Are you going to adopt? You know, what is this great thing that you want to use and you want to put out in the world with your own joy and self-expression? What do you find pleasurable at this time in your life? You've been under that kind of reassessment, and it's already been on your table. You've just been being asked to look at what it is, how you approach it. And it's not that what you want and how you're made isn't right. You may have seen during the Mars retrograde that your approach to get it to come to reality has not been correct. So you've had an opportunity here to reassess, relearn, gather more information on how to do this 5th house area of your life, okay? When we get to the 18th now, Mercury is going to come out of retrograde at 8 degrees of Capricorn. You see the series of 8s we've got going? 8 degrees of Capricorn, 8 degrees of Gemini, 16-degree moon. Like, we've got the 8s are really high for us this month, you guys, okay? But as Mercury comes out of retrograde at this 8 degrees of Capricorn, this is in this 12th house space. So I really want to bring your attention back to, first of all, the beginning of January 2022, what was going on, what values, what you valued, legacy, things like this. What was in your window that you were being presented to look at, revalue? It was probably felt very, very personal and uncomfortable as well. But now also, flashback to December 12th of 2022. This is when Mercury went into its pre-retrograde shadow time. So it started to slow down in this Capricorn energy. So new information or things from the past that you're like, this is where I am participating in my own undoing. This is an addiction that has still got me. This is, you know, the addiction to fear, the addiction to misinformation, delusions that have had my attention. This is where specialized population, maybe the elderly in your life became very pronounced, or babies, or people in a specialized niche. You know, are you working with people who are deaf? Are you working with people who have autism? What is the specialized population? People who are in positions of confinement, jail, institutions, rehabs, you know, what started to come to your attention. But more than anything, the 12th house is like the great womb, right? Where everything comes to culminate and to transition into what it needs to be next. It's the great place where we bring all of the lessons together. So Aquarius, as we arrive here again before birthday time, it is like, you've seen some things, You've done some things, you've been some things. Some of those things you did, have done, you really loved. Some you sucked. You did a bad job, wasn't good at the lesson, right? That's what happened. And you were a real live human being more than likely through the entire experience. And what part of it is done? 12th house, ready to pull the whole lesson together, get ready for birthday time, and to let it go into the great light of all forgiveness and all knowing, right? That you are always going to do, you are always going to be all of the mistakes and all of the goodness that you are, right? Where are you at with this particular Mercury coming direct now? Maybe you started to see it in December, and by the time we reach February 11th, I hope that you have made some at least mental peace with the shedding, with the making a decision, because you know what? We don't just come out here and let things go. You don't just come out here and decide to relax. That's like not how it goes. There's a mental heart connection that comes together. But truly, if you don't participate in enacting the decision that you just made, we really don't see any results. So Mercury out of retrograde gives you the space to decide and then meet it with action as well, to surrender what is done. Now, when we get to the 20th, happy birthday. The sun is blazing into your sign. It's birthday time, bringing light, heat, life, and vitality. We're ready to make some decisions, make some moves, strive for new perspectives, new people the next year. Then we get a new moon the next day, okay? New moon at 1 degree of Aquarius, and you get to plant your seeds of intention. And this particular moon is really neat because it looks here, we've got a nice connection with Jupiter. This is just Pluto's involved here as well. So where you want to advance, where you want to reach up and out, you may not have the perfect vision of it just yet, but the ability to do the hard work or the ability to improve your willingness to move towards your next greatness, I think is very abundant at this particular new moon. So be choosy. Be choosy, be mindful of what you want. Remember, at a new moon, your garden is very, very fertile. So what you plant, for good or for ill, is what you get to blossom, right? So for you, in your next revolution, who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? And who is going with you as well? Now on the 22nd, we see Uranus, one of your ruling planets, coming out of retrograde, which will mean now that both of your planets, your ruling planets, are direct. Uranus is coming out of retrograde at 14 degrees of Taurus. Okay, you've seen Uranus in this Taurus energy, which is home, family, real estate, property, the home zone, your own psychological settings, and it's interesting because we talk about the 4th house as also our parents, or maybe changes or breakdowns or surprise that have come from our parents as well. But sometimes I really think that it also reflects back on us as parents. So, have you been under some kind of reevaluation of yourself as a parent? Right? Or are you stepping into a parent role? You're stepping into some kind of legacy role, and it was maybe a surprise. And that can look a lot of different ways. Did you, now you're taking care of someone's child, or one of your children had a child, or your parents, you're back to taking care of them in some way. What's going on in this zone, but whatever it was, Uranus here in Taurus was seeking to break the rut that had been going on here. Something had been the same forever and ever and ever. And now there's this like breaking free in this particular area, which rose some of the skeletons to the surface. And it's like, at home, in my family, in my childhood, these things happen and we have to deal with those things. But it also rises to the surface, all the gems, the gold, and the minerals that have been deep within you, that until they are asked to rise to the surface, you simply cannot acknowledge and manifest them. You can't use them, and you've been provided an opportunity to be able to do that. I think at a very practical level too, for some of you Aquarians, did you find out over this last couple years that you're actually a very good handy person? Like you're good at fixing things, you're good at fixing things at home, or there's something about you at home that is really stable that you didn't know before, right? Like I would love to hear about your experience of Uranus and Taurus in the comment section down below. All right, beautiful Aquarians, before we end this month on the 26th, we're going to see Venus move into the energy of Pisces, lighting up your second house space. Now, again, Venus until February 20th is attracting in, but she's attracting into your financial sector at this time, right? So of income, but also of self-worth and your values. But in the energy of Pisces, joining Neptune over here as well, you kind of have this vibration of being able to make money through healing modalities, through maybe there are financial or benefits coming to you, or you're gaining value through some charitable contribution, something really creative is going on in some way. Yet again, I circle back to, are you taking care of a child, a dog, a plant? Are you in a care role because someone else is separated from it, right? So here's kind of the vision I have on that is you're taking care of someone's pet because they got sick or someone died or they had to travel and they just couldn't take the pet with them, and you enter into this care role, which turns out you're going to be a home and a pet sitter. And someone's paying you to do that. What does that look like? Or are you making money through, you're a meditation coach, you're doing something that's more freelance, but it's in the healing community, Any one of these things could absolutely be an abundance. And I don't ever want to leave out that Pisces is not just this woo energy. It is, but it isn't, because in your second house, you could just as easily be becoming, a counselor or a social worker or a corrections officer in some kind of facility, or a desk attendant in some kind of facility. Remember, also the places where people maybe are secluded, isolated, their specialized population. Maybe you are a behavioral tech somewhere, and this becomes an opportunity for you to gain money from these resources as well. Whatever it is for you this season, Aquarius, I'm wishing you a happy birthday. I cannot wait to see how you manifest it. Please let me know what's going on for you in the comment section down below. Like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I love you a ton, and I'll see you in February. Bye, Aquarius.